All right, let's get started. I don't want to take up too much of your time here today, and for those of you that are on screen right now, might as well honor your early start, and we'll get going with this. So my name is Gail Craswell, and I'm the Director of Curriculum and Instruction for Anglophone School District North. And as part of my portfolio, I also support new teachers in Anglophone North, and I work with the wonderful provincial team that supports all of you teachers. So welcome to this tour of the SharePoint resources and pages that will hopefully help to make your lives a little bit easier. Almost all of the resources that you will need to support any curriculum and instruction is going to be located on the SharePoint site. So it's pretty much a one-stop shop. The tour that I'm going to offer today might seem at times a little bit kind of dizzying, but the good news is, as Nicole pointed out in the chat, that she has emailed the PowerPoint slides for today out to all of you. So all of the links that I'm going to be taking you through today are in the PowerPoint slides, so you'll be able to navigate those and explore those at your leisure. So there's no need to hang on too hard today through this ride. Just come along for it. And there will be time left at the end for you to be able to just kind of navigate if you'd like to, and I'll stay on the call until the end time, the 4:45, I think it was, that we had slated for this, just in case you wanted to come back on and ask any questions. The PowerPoint also includes lots of explanatory notes as well. So a lot of what I'm going to be talking about here, I've actually typed it up in the notes so that it's just easier for you to then make sense of the PowerPoint as well. So you should be able to navigate that without too much trouble. One of the other things that might make this seem a little dizzying today is that I'm going to have to navigate back and forth between resources that are meant for K-8 teachers who are in schools that have adopted the holistic curriculum framework new curriculum. We call those our early adopter schools. So some of the resources that I'm going to take you to are designed just for those K-8 early adopter schools. So that might feel a little bit confusing. As a new teacher, you might not really know yet whether you are part of an early adopter school, because if you're a new teacher, brand new teacher, you've come onto the staff of an early adopter school, that's just your curriculum. So it might kind of, that little bit of information might not have kind of stuck with you. If you don't know whether you're in an early adopter school or not, you can ask your administrator. Chances are you're not, but I know that can seem a little bit confusing. Next year, all K-8 schools are going to have adopted the new holistic curriculum framework. So there will be a little bit of back and forth between that. I also have added a chart in the PowerPoint that tells you where to find curriculum if you are an early adopter and where to find it if you're not. So I'm hoping that that's going to help clear up some of the confusion. I know that the terminology can be overwhelming. It's overwhelming for all of us, and it's especially maybe overwhelming if you're a brand new teacher. So I apologize for that right up front. And excuse me, another thing that might make it a bit dizzying is that the SharePoint site itself is kind of a beautiful work in progress. Almost all of it is there and up and running well, but not all links work perfectly well, and not all of them are mapped perfectly well either. So that can maybe cause a little bit of confusion when you're on your own and you're trying to navigate these things. So just kind of a little bit of buyer beware, I guess. So excuse me, I'm just fresh out of bed from COVID, so my throat is a little bit kind of giving me some challenges today. So I'm going to share my screen and my PowerPoint. And once I do that, I won't be able to see if you have any questions. So maybe Nicole can tell me if there are any questions. All right, so you should be able to see the screen. It says navigating the system, and if someone could just open their mic and tell me if you're seeing what I'm seeing, that would be great.
Yep, I can see it.
Perfect. My apologies. So when you're going to go to Microsoft Office to find the SharePoint site. So when you do go to Microsoft Office up here, Microsoft Office, www.office.com, you're going to see a waffle up here, and maybe you're already familiar with this, but maybe you're not. So I'm just going to kind of walk everybody through it. Clicking on this waffle is going to take you to the SharePoint site. So that's where I'm going to go next. I'm going to open my Microsoft Office. Okay. And then the little waffle up here, if you click that on, you'll see a whole list of options here. You can get to your email through this. You can get to Teams through this. You can get to all kinds of places through this, but you can also navigate to the SharePoint. So you just click on the SharePoint here, and this is where it takes you. I hope that all moved around for you a little bit because I can't tell. All good?
All good.
Excellent. So what you can do here, from here, if you're looking for a resource, you can just search it by typing it in. So I'm going to search assessing, evaluating, and reporting because that's one of the first links that I want to take you to. Okay, and you see it pops up here. So you just click that on, and then it takes you to the SharePoint site that has all of the, or most all of the information that you're going to need for assessing, evaluating, and reporting at grades K to 12. When you do access a page like this, you can follow it. You see I'm already following this. And when you do follow it, it's going to show on your landing page back here, because this is what my landing page looks like because I'm following all of these different kind of pages. So I'm following curriculum resources and instructional tools. I'm following assessing, evaluating, and reporting. I'm following all of the ones that I refer to on a very frequent basis. And so when you find pages that are very useful for you, that's the first thing that you can do is to follow them, and then they'll be here on your landing page every time you go to the SharePoint. Clear as mud so far? All right, so let's have a look at the assessing, evaluating, and reporting grades K to 12. I did provide this link in the PowerPoint. This is a very useful SharePoint page for you. So you'll have access to that right away through the through the PowerPoint. That way you can get to it right away and you can follow it, and it'll be there on your landing page. So, and I told you that I was going to have to talk a little bit back and forth about if you are an early adopter school or you are not an early adopter school in grades K to 8. If you are not one of the holistic curriculum early adopter schools, all of the information that you need for assessing, evaluating, reporting is found in this first icon. If you are an early adopter school, you see it says implementing the framework. That's where you would go for resource support and guidelines. And then there's an icon over here for high school. So let's have a look at the assessing, evaluating, and reporting grades K to 8 for the non-early adopter schools. And I'm sure that many of you are already familiar with this. You just had your report card writing day if you're a K to 8 teacher. So you're probably quite familiar with this, but I don't like to assume too much. So what you can find here is you can find rubrics for every subject area, and these rubrics are designed to help you when you're making an evaluation, a 1 to 4 evaluation for your students for each of the strands. So if we just kind of scroll down, you'll see that all of the subject areas are listed there. And let's just go to Science 8. You click that on. And then these are the rubrics for year-end achievement for grade 8 science, each of the strands. And then you would just kind of see that, you know, in the strand of the nature of science, a student who is meeting, this is what you would be expected to see, and so on and so forth. And I'm not going to busy everybody by scrolling through that because A, not all of you are science teachers, and B, that's just too hard on the head. But I wanted you to know that this is where you find your year-end subject area rubrics for helping you to write report cards. Okay, and then also over here, all right, just looking for the guidelines document over here. This is assessing, evaluating, and reporting K-8 guidelines document. So this document can help walk you through the whole process of writing report cards for K-8. So I wanted to point that out on this landing page. If you are an early adopter school, you'd click this middle icon. And the things that I would like to draw your attention to here is that you could click on the assessing and evaluating guidelines here for K-8 early adopter schools, and that will walk you through. There is also a PowerPoint on what's different for reporting at K-8 in an early adopter school. And then there's also a video companion document as well for you if you are an early adopter school. So I just want to draw everybody's attention to that because won't spend a lot of time there because not everything applies to everyone on this call. Just that you know that that's where you would navigate to find that. And I would like to go back here. This is assessing, evaluating, and reporting for high school teachers. So if you're a high school teacher, you would click that on. And there are some aids here that will help you to navigate Power Teacher Pro for writing the report cards. And there are also the guideline documents here for writing report cards at grade 9 to 12. Is that too fast? So I've already taken you to the link for assessing, evaluating, and report cards. And like I said, I put some links here that I thought would be valuable to you and you can navigate to them later. Resource bundles. So you can find on this particular page, you can find resources to help you with your curriculum, to help you teach your curriculum. And the bundles there are new bundles added regularly. There's not, you know, everything here, but this is a true work in progress and it's something that has been really developed over the last year. And as I mentioned, new bundles are being added weekly. These are bundles that are created by New Brunswick teachers for New Brunswick teachers, so you can be guaranteed that they align with your curriculum. It's our version of Teachers Pay Teacher, only they're really much more comprehensive than that. You can navigate by program blocks. You can also, as you see down here, you can sign up to create a bundle. So if you think that you would like to create a bundle, you can contact and then submit your name and you'll be paid to share your best and grow a resource bundle for other New Brunswick educators. So let's just have a look here at one particular area. We'll look at grades 6 to 8. And you can click on subject area, or you can just scroll through all of the bundles that are there and available for you. So let's just pick social studies as an example. And there are quite a few bundles here. Being a global citizen, civic engagement, map skills in Atlantic Canada. So there really are quite a few here that are available for you to use. So I would encourage you to visit that particular SharePoint page and familiarize yourself with it. The next page that I'd like to take you to is the Provincial Assessment Hub. And what I would like to draw your attention to here, if you are a K-2 literacy teacher, then you're deeply involved right now and have been since September with the EGLA, the Early Grades Literacy Assessment. So this is where you would find information and resources and help for that. So that's why I wanted to provide everyone with a link to that particular SharePoint site. So you scroll through these files, find resources that are helpful to you. There's the flight map version, there's the pillar version, there are assessor guidelines, there's an intro letter, and like I said, you'd just be free to peruse that at your own leisure. The other thing that I'd like to draw your attention to here are the assessment schedules. Hang on here, I got to find where I'm going. Here we go. Assessment support materials, schedule, and communications. You might find this particularly helpful because it lets you know what provincial assessments are scheduled and when, because, you know, it just helps you with your planning. If you are a grade 4 teacher or a grade 7 teacher, it's helpful for you to know when these assessments are being administered. It helps with your planning, helps with preparation, all that kind of stuff. So the assessment schedule is here. So I just wanted to draw that to your attention. Next, we'll go to the Curriculum Resource and Development Toolkit. And I'll point out a few highlights from this particular page. So there are toolkit categories. One of those toolkits is Indigenous Principles of Learning and Ways of Knowing. So we're going to click that one on. And what you'll find here is you'll find the Wabanaki Holistic Learning Framework. We're going to click that on. This was developed in 2022. And the purpose of the framework is to guide learning specialists, curriculum writers, and teams in a meaningful inclusion and centering of Wabanaki perspectives, but all educators, teachers included, are welcome to use the framework as a way to help them embed Wabanaki knowledge into their practice. So if we scroll down a little bit, what you'll see is you'll have these guiding principles, so Wabanaki societies, and it'll tell you in K-2, 3-5, 6-8, or 9-12, how you might incorporate this particular guiding focus into your curriculum. So it's a very helpful document. It'll help walk you through all of these different aspects, worldviews, languages, cultures, and traditions, treaty education, and it's really helpful because it's divided by blocks, so K-2, 3-5, 6-8, and 9-12, which really helps with scoping and sequencing this information in a way that is accessible to learners in that particular area. So there's that resource that I wanted to point out to you. Priority areas and frameworks, lots of good stuff here. So there's climate literacy and sustainability framework. There's civics framework, components of digital literacy, Black histories and cultures, career education. There's just a ton of stuff here that can be very valuable across the curriculum. So I wanted to be able to kind of point that out to you as well. And then the kind of last thing on this page that I wanted to point out would be considerations for all learners. So in this section, you're going to find the UDL framework and the checklist, which helps to make sure that when we design learning in such a way that all learners can access that. So that's a good tool for you as well. There's a formative assessment framework. Click that on. And that helps to share some important elements of formative assessment. It's kind of got a checklist to help you see what you should be looking for in your classroom. If you're really knocking it out of the park with formative assessment, these are the things that you should be doing and seeing in your classroom. And these are the kinds of things, for example, that students should be doing. So I just wanted to point that out as well. There are cross-curricular literacy look-fors, inclusion look-fors, there's teaching process map, lots of strategies to support the diverse learners in your classroom. This is going to take you a long time to navigate, but the purpose here today was not to go deep. It was just to point you in the direction so that you could then access what it is that you need in this moment. And you don't need everything in this moment. I'd like to remind you of that because sometimes we feel we have to be doing it all the time, and that is just the worst thing that you could do. So I just wanted to point you in this direction, and you could find the resources that are best suited to your next steps as a teacher. And then finally, I wanted to take you here. This is one way to get to that new modernized holistic curriculum framework that I was telling you about. So if you are in an early adopter school, this is going to be handy for you. So we're going to click that on. And all of these notes, it's in the PowerPoint. So most of what I'm saying here, you'll find it almost word for word in the notes section of the PowerPoint. So you'll be able to know what it means to go here and what it means to go there and why you should do that. So you're going to scroll down here to the learning areas. And again, this is for those teachers in the early adopter schools. And I wanted to point this out because this page contains PDF documents that support the new curriculum. And teachers who are working with the new K-8 curriculum are finding these really handy to print off and help them track where they are and where they're going. So I'm just going to click on the English language arts. And I'm going to click on the full grade level continuum. And so we find a lot of teachers of the holistic curriculum framework, and you can find this for each of the learning areas. They like to print this off, or at least print off the pages that refer to their curriculum. So if you're teaching kindergarten, you would print off the first couple of pages. Just the first 3 pages. This is your entire curriculum for kindergarten for literacy, and teachers like to print it off because they can see each of the big curricular areas, the strands, and then the big ideas, and they can see what the skill descriptors are, and then the achievement indicators over here, and a lot of them are using this to kind of highlight the kinds of where they are right now in their curriculum with their students, and it just helps them to kind of keep track of where they are and where their students are. So I wanted to point that out because teachers have been telling us that they find this useful for the new holistic curriculum and to try to kind of have a paper sort of document in front of them that's kind of serves like a guiding document, and they can quickly glance at it and see where they are and what's coming next. So I wanted to point that out. And then the final place that we're going to go here is curriculum resources and instructional tools. So we've got tabs by topic area at the top of the page. So what I'd like to point out that would be most useful to you would be if you're a primary teacher, so K-2, or an elementary, a middle, a high school. There's also another sort of tab here that takes you to report card information. So you can navigate from there, or you can navigate at the bottom of the page like this. So let's look at the elementary first, and then we'll go on to the high school. So for those of you who are in the early adopter schools, here's where you will find companion documents to help flesh out the curriculum. So we've got phys ed, science, music, visual art, FELA, math. Not all of the companion documents have been uploaded yet, but most of them are here, and this is where you would find them. So I wanted to point that out. And we'll be navigating to the digital platform in a little bit. So that's the elementary. If you are a high school teacher, so we're going to go here, you're a high school teacher. We can navigate by subject. So if you're teaching science, let's say, any of the companion guides that are available are listed here. This is not where the curriculum is, but this is where the companion documents are. And I've made note of that in my notes on the PowerPoint to help kind of clear that up. I know that even at that, it's still a little bit murky, but these are the companion documents that support the new modernized curriculum for high school. And we'll be navigating to the digital platform in the very next slide. All right, so for all high school teachers and all K-8 early adopter schools, this is where you're going to find the curriculum that you need. So we're going to click that on. I'm going to bring it over here to the screen. And you can explore a lot of this at your leisure. But today what I wanted to do was I wanted to just focus on the learning areas because that's where the actual curriculum is, and I know that's what you most need right now. And you'll see when you hover over the learning areas, it's separated by blocks. So primary, elementary, middle, and high school. And we're going to start first with the high school because if you're a high school teacher on this call, this is your go-to for all of your high school curriculum. So let's click that high school block on. And you'll see, sorry, over here on the side, they're divided by clusters. So language arts and languages, humanities, mathematics, science, and so on. So what we're going to do first is we're going to look at the humanities cluster. And then here it gives you all of the courses that are under the humanities cluster for high school. And so I'm going to click on the ancient medieval history right here. And what it's going to do is it's going to take me to the actual curriculum document because for this particular subject area, this curriculum hasn't been fully digitized yet. So it's just going to take me to the actual curriculum document. And you're going to see it here. So easy peasy. If you're teaching ancient and medieval history, that's where it's going to take you to find your curriculum document. Over the next little while, all curriculum is going to be digitized. So you'll find it in another spot on the digital platform. And I'm going to take you now to a curriculum that is fully digitized, and you'll see what I mean. So we're going to go to the sciences. And I'm going to click on forestry. So since the forestry is completely digitized, here's where the curriculum is down here. And it's articulated by strand and then big idea. So what we used to call our general curricular outcomes. So this is forest biomes as a general curriculum outcome. Skill descriptors, what we used to call the specific curricular outcomes. And then the achievement indicators, what do I expect to see students who are meeting expectations in this particular skill descriptor. So everything is just kind of laid out right here. And you can just scroll all the way down, and that's your entire curriculum for forestry on the digital platform. Now, there are companion documents to go along with this, but the companion documents are going to be found on the Curriculum Resources and Instructional Tools SharePoint site. There is a link here, but like I said, we're a work in progress, and so the link is not quite working. So you have to go back to that place where I showed you that all the companion documents were, but that's all explained in the notes on the PowerPoint. So now we're going to move to the middle level. If you are teaching in an early adopter school, this is where you would find all of your curriculum. So let's go to English Language Arts. And again, this is, I'll expand all of it. And it has all of the skill descriptors, the strands, the big ideas, which we formerly called general curricular outcomes, the skill descriptors, which we formerly called specific curricular outcomes. And one of the things that you can do, I'm going to show you that. There's also a course comparison, which is super helpful. And it takes all of the English language arts for grades 6, 7, and 8, and it puts it on a continuum. So for expression in grade 6, these are the skill descriptors that we expect to see for grade 7 right here and grade 8 right here. So you can kind of, look forward or look back depending on how well students are achieving. Oh, that is the where you will find you'll find all of your high school curriculum, and you'll find curriculum for K-8 early adopter schools. Now, the next slide that we're going to go to is going to show you where to find curriculum documents if you are not part of an early adopter school. And again, you've got a link to this. So for elementary, if you're not an early adopter school, you can scroll through here and find all the applicable curriculum that you need. Excuse me. If you are not an early adopter school, but you teach K-2 literacy, you are using the new curriculum. And I'm pretty sure that you would know that by now because the K-2 curriculum for all teachers this year was new. So you would be finding your curriculum on the digital platform. Middle school, all your curriculum can be found here that you need, but for high school, your curriculum is going to be found on the digital platform. And the last place that I wanted to take you, oh, not the last place, sorry, next to last place, I told you that I had done a chart, a navigation chart for curriculum. So this helps to explain it. So if you are K-8, K-2 literacy curriculum for all teachers is found here. Grade 7 FELA for all grade 7 teachers is found here. And the reason I say all, whether you're early adopter or not, is because these are brand new curriculums, so they put it on the digital platform. All curriculum for teachers in holistic curriculum framework early adopter schools is found here as well. all other K-8 curriculum for non-early adopter schools can be found here. And then for the high school, I've done the same thing. This is where you would find your curriculum. If a curriculum is not yet fully digitized, you'll be linked to the curriculum document from the above site. This is a link to the companion documents, and links to the companion documents aren't fully functional yet from the digital platform, but they can be accessed here. So I hope that chart is going to help you determine where you're going to find your curriculum depending on your particular situation. And then finally, I would like to take you here because this is a beautiful work in progress. We now have a New Brunswick PL Hub where you can find all kinds of professional learning that you can mostly access at your leisure when you need it, when it suits you. So you would just go here and search for professional learning, and you can search by program block or by learning area, and you can see some of the topics here. So assessment for high school mathematics, that's very specific, but if that's what you need, that's what you would find there. And eventually you should be able to find so much here that will support your needs. That's the idea, that we would be continually adding to this so that teachers can access just right professional learning when they need it. So we've got EAL K-12, and these are open entry, so you can access them at any time. Some of them have start dates, so you'd click on, and I think you would probably have to maybe, yeah, so it'll tell you how to join. So you would click here to join the session. So that's something that's going to be offered in real time on January 17th. I would expect that many of those will be recorded, and then teachers would be able to access them after. But I just wanted to point out that that's just a really, really beautiful work in progress. We're pretty proud of that, and it will be growing every day. So that was a lot. There, I believe I've stopped. Well, I had to stop sharing my screen, but I put my PowerPoint down. Now I've stopped sharing. So if there are any questions, I know that was a lot, but as I said, the purpose was just to provide that fast tour, but to give you enough information in the PowerPoint that you can navigate for what you need, because what you need is different from somebody else on this call. So that was my hope, that that would satisfy that and take you where you needed to go. I know it's overwhelming. Everything's overwhelming. Any questions?
Gail, I just want to say thank you for doing this PL for the over 600 new teachers, especially, being not feeling well. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. I will stay on if you wanted to take a few minutes and explore something, or, I'll stay on until the 4:45 stop time that we had, or you can ask me some questions now, or. Well, if you don't have any questions, you can sign off and play around if you want.